Your ad can match a search you never typed into your account, and that single fact explains a huge amount of wasted spend, especially in small campaigns with thin margins. The real question is not whether match types matter. It is how much control you are quietly giving away every day, click by click. Broad, phrase, and exact sound like neat little categories, almost like 3 clean settings on a switch. In practice, they are 3 different ways of telling Google how much freedom it has to interpret what your customer means when they search, whether that search is obvious or ambiguous. If your settings are too loose, you buy irrelevant clicks that look busy but do not convert. If they are too tight, you miss buyers who use different wording, like sneakers instead of running shoes. So the whole game becomes a trade-off between reach, control, and actual intent across real search behavior. Most beginners treat match types like a quiz with one correct answer, as if Google Ads were a vocabulary test. That is the trap. The right choice depends on your data quality, your budget, and how much mess you are ready to clean from search terms later, sometimes every single week. Search intent simply means what the person is trying to do in that moment. Are they researching, comparing, or ready to buy within the next hour? Match types matter because Google is guessing intent from wording, and wording is often messy, incomplete, local, emotional, or just badly phrased. Think of match types as a dial, not a wall, like adjusting sensitivity rather than locking a door. Turn the dial toward reach, and Google explores more. Turn it toward control, and you limit surprises. Neither extreme wins every account, because different budgets and signals change the right setting. Broad match gives Google the most room to interpret related meaning across many possible searches. That does not mean random, despite the horror stories people share. It means the system can connect your keyword to searches that share intent, even when the words are different or reordered in practical ways. If your keyword is running shoes, broad match might show for best sneakers for jogging or lightweight shoes for marathon training. It might even test terms like cushioned race shoes for beginners. The wording changes, but the shopper might still be in the right neighborhood, commercially speaking. This is the first real trade-off, and it is not a minor one. Broad match can discover useful demand you did not predict, including profitable long-tail phrases, but it can also wander into vague, low-intent, or simply wrong searches if the account lacks guardrails like negatives and clean conversion data. Broad match tends to help when you already track conversions well, have enough volume for automated bidding to learn, and regularly review search terms, ideally every week. In a disciplined account, broader matching can uncover profitable language you would never brainstorm alone, including regional phrasing and unexpected problem solution searches. Broad match often hurts when tracking is broken, budgets are tiny, or the offer is niche and easily misunderstood. In those cases, Google gets very little feedback, so the system learns from noise and spends money before you spot the pattern, sometimes after 20 or 30 wasted clicks. Broad match is not dangerous because it is broad, just like a wider road is not dangerous by itself. It becomes dangerous when the account gives Google weak signals about what success actually looks like, such as bad tracking, mixed goals, or poor landing page alignment. Phrase match sits in the middle, which is why so many advertisers start there. It tells Google to stay closer to the meaning of your keyword than broad match does, while still allowing searches that include the same idea with extra wording around it, before or after. If your keyword is emergency plumber, phrase match may still capture 24-hour emergency plumber near me or emergency plumbing service. It could also match emergency plumber for basement leak. The search stays more anchored to your original idea, though wording can still flex in useful ways. A lot of advertisers love phrase match because it feels balanced and emotionally easier to defend. It offers more protection than broad, but it still leaves room for variations. That emotional comfort is useful, but it can also make you less curious about whether broader discovery might outperform it. Phrase match is not a perfect shield, even though many people treat it like one. Google still uses close meaning, and that can pull in searches you would not choose manually. The surprise is smaller than broad match, but it is not gone, especially in nuanced local or service categories. In many small accounts, phrase match becomes the practical starting point because it balances enough volume to learn with enough control to stay sane while you build negatives and improve landing pages. It is not always optimal, but it is often manageable, which matters when resources are limited. Exact Match gives Google the tightest instruction of the three, but exact no longer means only one literal search as many older tutorials still imply. It means very close variants and the same intent, not perfect word-for-word identity, even when punctuation or order changes slightly. This is where many advertisers get confused, especially if they learned Google Ads years ago. They hear exact and expect zero variation. But Google cares about meaning, plural forms, reordered wording, and other close intent signals, so exact is really a tighter interpretation layer, not a literal lockbox. Exact Match shines when you know the search behavior that converts, when each click is expensive, or when the meaning of your offer is narrow enough that loose matching creates obvious waste. Think legal services, B2B software demos, or specialty medical queries where ambiguity gets costly fast. If a single click costs $15, precision matters more than curiosity for most advertisers. The higher the click price, the less room you have to let broad interpretation wander before budget disappears, especially if only 1 in 20 clicks turns into a lead. Exact Match can also slow you down more than people expect. If your account is new, volume is low, or buyers use many different phrases, strict matching can starve the campaign and make it harder for bidding to learn, even if the few clicks you get look relevant. Match types decide eligibility, not quality by themselves, and that distinction changes how you diagnose problems. You can still lose money with Exact Match if your ad promise is weak, your landing page misses the intent, or your tracking tells lies about conversions through duplicate or broken events. Most waste comes from a system problem, not one checkbox or one dramatic setting. Match types matter, but they work with other levers that either sharpen or blur your targeting. That is why two advertisers can use the same match type and get completely different outcomes. Here is the first open loop resolved in practical terms. Broad match is manageable when negative keywords do their job. Negatives tell Google where not to go, which lets you keep discovery without paying for irrelevant paths over and over, like free, jobs, DIY, or unrelated locations. Your keyword is your guess. The search terms report is what really happened after the auction and the click. If you want to understand match types, stop staring only at keywords and start reading the actual searches that spent your money, because the evidence lives there, not in your assumptions. The fastest shift in thinking is this: stop asking which match type is best in the abstract, and start asking which level of ambiguity your account can currently afford given its budget, tracking quality, and search term discipline. For many smaller advertisers, the practical path is simple and much less glamorous than platform hype. Start mostly with phrase match and a few exact keywords for obvious winners. Add broad only where tracking is reliable and you are ready to police the fallout with negatives and weekly reviews. Larger accounts with strong conversion data often earn more freedom over time. They can test broader matching because the system receives enough feedback to separate valuable patterns from junk faster than a new account can. That might mean hundreds of conversions per month, not 5 or 6. Here is the twist that upsets a lot of simple advice. Broad match can outperform exact match in a healthy account, not because broad is smarter by default, but because the whole system around it gives Google better evidence about who converts and which searches deserve expansion. The second open loop resolves here. Exact match can underperform when it traps you inside your own assumptions about how customers search. If buyers search in language you did not predict, Exact Match protects you from waste and from growth at the same time, which is a costly trade-off. If you remember only 3 things, make them these and ignore most shallow match type debates. They cut through most match type confusion faster than memorizing platform definitions, because they focus on economics, data quality, and evidence instead of labels alone. Ask how painful a bad click is in dollars, time, and opportunity cost. If one irrelevant visitor barely matters, you can test broader reach. If one bad click burns serious budget, tighten the matching and protect your downside first, especially in high CPC markets like legal or insurance. Ask how much trustworthy data you have, not how much data you wish you had. Good conversion tracking, enough volume, and frequent account maintenance create the conditions where broader matching becomes an asset instead of a liability. Without those conditions, automation often amplifies confusion rather than insight. Ask whether your search terms report agrees with your story about the account. If the report contradicts your assumptions, believe the report. Match types are only useful when they are judged by real query behavior, not theory, habit, screenshots, or somebody else's generic best practice. Keep more of what works, cut more of what wastes, and let the data earn more freedom. That is the simple filter, and around here we call it ads without